Hello, everyone. This is a book talk on our read of the week or weeks, however long it takes us to get through the novel. This is Day by Day Armageddon by J.L. Bourne, our first zombie novel. Not my first, but this is John's first. So we're breaking him into the genre, book genre, zombie book genre. I can't say that because I'm running scared. Zombies have got me scared. I'm just really like out of my mind and wits. But John, I don't know if he's ready for this. John, are you actually ready for this?
Well, no, you threw this at me last minute, Josh, and I like to be prepared. You might say I am a preparist. I'm a preparist for books about survivalists, which is kind of what this was. And
so you're not going to survive the zombie apocalypse because I didn't give you any heads up. Well, that's too bad.
No, I will. I am better equipped than you are to survive the zombie apocalypse, for reals.
Well, that's what this book is all about. We gave it a solid 3 stars. Don't quit viewing now. You have to hear why we say this. This story would be a solid 4, except that the characters are grist for the mill. It's like, don't get too invested. They might die. Maybe the writers set us up for that. We don't know, because this is just the first part of a trilogy, quadruplogy, whatever. But it's a good entry.
A quadruple trilogy. I like that.
Yeah, something like that. It's a good introduction for us. It's not the best zombie book. The standard I think still is World War Z, which is the required reading for zombie literature. But it's got its own little moments that help say, I remember that zombie book. Great moment. It's got consistency. It actually defines the enemy. It defines the agony, the actual end of the world, and really not just the survivalist, but the moral quandary of how would you act. So it's got some very deep level questions that it asks in a very kind of action oriented kind of survival way, I guess. He's just trying to get through it day by day, but he asks himself these questions: what do I do? How do I do this?
Yeah, it was funny that some of the sections in the book actually made me reflect on what would I do. And it wasn't me pretending that, oh, what if I were in a zombie apocalypse? It wasn't like that. It was just, and I wonder what I would do, because there were several opportunities where he could have been just out for himself, or he could have tried to help other people. And he made some pretty important decisions. And I don't know what I would have done if it were just me, or me potentially dying to help somebody else. And the book was really interesting. And it is my first zombie novel, but it really felt like we were reading a survivalist story, right? There are novels you can read about survivalists, written by people that like to be, I guess they're known as preppers. And they'll talk about, preparing for some kind of collapse in the country or an invasion, and how would they survive alone in the woods. This book had a lot of elements of that in it, because this guy went through his list of, okay, something seems to be going down. I better go to the store and I need to buy this many rounds of ammunition of this caliber. And I need to have this many bottles of water, and I need to have, this many MREs or whatever. Just I don't think he said some of those things specifically, just as an example. And it went through this survivalist type of thing, and so it felt like a journal about him figuring out how to survive, more than it just felt like a book that was just having fun shooting zombies. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he counted his bullets a lot, and he made sure he rationed. He drank bathtub water. Pretty enticing stuff you would want to be ready for. Drinking bathtub water in case the water goes out, electricity goes out. He was ready with his generators. But the story, this is a spoiler cast, so get ready for the plot. Zombie plots, this is pretty traditional. But the country, basically within the first month of the outbreak, maybe less, I can't remember, basically wants to nuke major metropolitan cities, nuke American soil. And they give people 2 days, people with the radio, mind you, and who knows who has a radio. And those folks only have 2 days to clear out of these areas. So kind of crazy. Our guy's a pilot. He has a co-pilot. He has a friend he finds, and they actually get out of Dodge. And the fun thing about their adventures in Zombieland is the fact that they get stuck in some tough spots. One of which, the control tower, the flight tower, gets taken over, and they jump off the top of it with parachutes. Something you don't see every day. And it was awesome that they basically barely survive. Luckily, it's pure luck with their parachutes deploying right before they hit the ground. and it's pretty funny. How they get around. Not a lot of characterization in the book, more of the survival of the story, as you said. But it was good because this guy was a Navy pilot, I think, that deserted his post. So questions of desertion, questions of following a vice president who nukes American cities, and it doesn't even work. You know, all kinds of cool stuff in a couple of hundred pages. So it packs quite a punch.
Yeah, it was pretty short, and they did have to move quickly, which is why I'm assuming the author went straight to nuking cities instead of maybe trying the multiple other options that the United States has in its arsenal, right? I mean, we have some very large bombs that could level a city if you drop enough without having to actually radiate the entire area with a nuclear blast. So, you know, he jumped straight to that, and I said, okay, you know, I can accept it because the book is short. I mean, he's moving. You know, this is a journalistic kind of read. But you mentioned it a second ago, the reason the book is 3 stars instead of 4, we both gave it 3. There's almost no character development. I mean, I get to know the main character a little bit. I get to know some of the side characters, but there's not really any character development. I don't know what the guy looks like. You know, we never had a scene where he looked in the mirror and maybe described at least what color his hair was, right? I don't know really anything about the guy, and that's where I felt like the book could have done better. I was ready to give it 4 stars because it really is a fun read. It's got a lot of very fun action. It moves very quickly. It doesn't drag. And the zombies were pretty smart in this book, smarter than other, say, zombie movies that I've seen, right? Where in others, a fence can kind of keep the zombies at bay just because they just wander around and bump into things. They don't know what to do unless they see a direct path toward a live human being. But in this one, they would beat on doors and knock them down. They would eventually overwhelm fences and knock them over. They weren't really that stupid.
You know, you mentioned also that this is 2 Armageddons in one, the zombie apocalypse and plus the nuclear winter. So that didn't occur to me, even though this is like the main plot element. It's like, oh, now he's contending with fallout, radiation fallout, and zombies who apparently move faster and get some more energy out of their Red Bull nuclear drinks because these guys are moving faster. So yeah, a good story. It's going to continue because there was a cliffhanger. You know, no reason to spoil the cliffhanger. It's just the story keeps going. It's a survivalist story. It never ends. So hopefully we'll get to know the characters some more, and hopefully it'll be a good conclusion, air quotes, down the road. You know, because zombie stories keep going, and that's Day by Day Armageddon by J.L. Bourne. Check it out. Thanks for joining us on a book talk, and we'll catch you next time on the Rain of Books at rainofbooks.com, as in the rule of books, not the weather. Take care.
M203s are the best.